She Said Butcher Shop is the first female-owned and operated butcher shop located in the heart of North Moorhead, or I should say soon to be located because they're still under construction. But we have the owner and founder, Melissa Evans, joining us today to talk about what makes her store unique. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning. So exciting to have you here because we love a woman starting a new business here on North Dakota Today, and this one is a rare one to start a butcher shop as a female, right?
It's definitely not standard in the industry.
It is not. So like we said, it's opening soon. So we're going to talk about location and everything, but really important to know your history. So I love how you grew up kind of doing your own butchering, right, with your dad?
Yep. Winters were spent in the garage helping process deer, stuffing sausage, things like that. That was kind of my first taste of the industry. Mm-hmm. Then I went to NDSU and studied meat science there and graduated with that and moved on to manage some local grocery stores in the meat department.
Okay, so your interest in, so you were in that, and of course we have to bring up the fact that, last week we had on Professor Berg, but that wasn't the Berg that you had as a professor, but you are very familiar with what we were speaking of last week.
Yep, I was actually taught by Dr. Eric Berg at NDSU. He was one of my main meat science teachers and learned a lot from him, and he is the son of the Professor Berg that was on last week.
Exactly. So, and pretty cool to know, though, that you're going to carry this forward because everybody loves a good cut of meat.
Oh, of course.
I mean, for real. So, so obviously you shared your background with us, but what made you want to go start your own business? And then we got to talk about that name.
Yeah. Well, unfortunately, when I was at the grocery store, I had a shoulder injury that took me out of the business, and the retail aspect of it with the large amounts of turkeys and hams at different holidays was not something physically I'd be able to continue doing. So I'm striking off on my own, and I'm going to do a smaller scale type store and just have fresh cuts of beef and pork to start, and then move into some custom processing and having my own smokehouse on premise too.
Ooh, yes, that sounds yummy. So we talked about, when we were talking earlier, you talk about really focusing on local. You're a North Dakota native.
Yes.
But this shop is going to be in North Moorhead.
Yep.
Moorhead. So actually a very growing part of that community too.
Yep.
So that should be awesome.
Featured right off of Highway 75 and Highway 10, so it's a quick, easy location for people to get to.
And things are getting underway there. I know you're set to be opening the end of this month, hopefully, or maybe into early
December.
Just in time for Christmas and all those holiday meats that we're going to want for our family and friends. So, okay, let's talk about She Said Butcher Shop. How did we come up with the name?
She Said Butcher Shop it's just kind of, in the industry, women tend to have more reluctancy in buying meat. They're, it's just kind of the way it's been. So She Said is a way for when I have customers come in, I want to sit down and be able to show them or explain to them what's the best method for cooking this. Is it low and slow? Is it a moist cooking method? Is it high heat? That sort of thing. And then they go home. That mentality is, okay, she said do it this way. That's what she said.
Yes.
So that's kind of the idea behind the name.
That is so cute. That's so cute. So what is going to set you aside from others? I mean, besides that aspect right there, I think is going to make a huge difference. Hopefully we bring in a lot of women into your shop too that are like, all right, I'm going to listen to Melissa because she knows what she's talking about.
Yep, and come in with all sorts of questions and different things. Mm-hmm. One thing that will set me apart from others is the meat bundles I'm going to have available. It's going to be bundles of meat of either beef, pork, or a combination for a family of 2 or 4, and everything's going to come individually packaged, vacuum sealed, and frozen. So you can decide whether or not you want to take out a couple steaks, a couple pork chops, mix and match. Somebody wants a pork chop, somebody wants a steak. You have that that availability to have different things, and it also saves on your meat. It doesn't spoil as fast. That vacuum sealing will keep it for a long time. And you get, like I said, many choices.
Mm-hmm. And I love also that you said you want to keep it local.
Oh yes, definitely.
Local ranchers,
I will
local
be working with local suppliers here that work with local farmers in North Dakota, South Dakota, and Minnesota alone. And I will be willing to work with anybody who is USDA inspected for retail. So any local.
Okay, I love it. Melissa, She Said Butcher Shop opening soon. We're going to have you back on, and we'll get a tour of your new shop and talking more about all those bundles and things like that for the holidays, right?
Yes, of course.
All
yeah,
right.
and a prime rib, got to have that.
Ooh, prime rib, yes. Thank you so very much. You're making me hungry. All right, coming up on today's show, taking care of a very important part of your eye. We're checking in with Vance Thompson Vision next.